Sean Payton, yay or nay? Seems a little bit mixed on the text line. Sean Payton, next head coach of the Houston Texans. They've requested to interview him. Just not on board with it with this situation. 2019, I would have been screaming from the mountaintop. They would have heard me on Kirby from here in 2019. But in this situation, I'm just not down. Nothing new. The OG John Lopez thinks I'm absolutely insane.
You know, one thing we haven't mentioned, and we've been obviously this is a huge topic, is one thing that is extremely important to everyone in that building. They've talked about it so many times, it's almost like it's tiring. And that's culture. Sean Payton immediately changes the culture.
Oh, yeah, we need to get Bounty Gate going.
Well, that wasn't him.
He got suspended for it.
Well, he got suspended for it, but it was his DC. Greg Williams, right? Look, and that aside, the culture, think about what the Saints were before Sean Payton.
Yeah, they weren't great.
They were not only not great, they were often awful.
They weren't great.
And so, like, we haven't even talked about that aspect of it.
Why is it, though, that you talk about Sean Payton so much different than you talk about Bill Belichick? Because Bill Belichick, he was the defensive brains behind Bill Parcells, and it seems like whenever we talk about Bill Belichick, we say, "Well, yeah, but with Tom Brady, this is his record." You know, without Tom Brady, he's not Bill Belichick.
I don't feel I do that.
No, but
personally, maybe it's out there.
But how is there not any, like, at least a little bit uncertainty / skepticism that Sean Payton can come into this situation and he's all of a sudden going to bring with him what he brought in New Orleans and ignore the fact that Drew Brees, Hall of Fame quarterback, was with him the whole time?
Nobody's ignored that. I haven't backed off of that. I think he's a great coach no matter what. And I think the difference is, hell, you talk about, Bill Belichick. If Bill Belichick at his age came in and had his pick of the number 2 overall quarterback, I'd be maybe not as down with it as Sean Payton because he's an offensive guy, but certainly I would take it. I don't put any qualifiers on it. I think part of it is that he is an offensive guy, and that's why I trust him with a quarterback more than anybody, because he is an offensive guy.
But he's an offensive guy who's had his success with Drew Brees.
Sure.
Like, there's not even like an example of Sean Payton. There's a small example. There was one
Jameis
year.
Winston, yeah.
Yeah, there was 1 year, and in that same year, I mean, Nick Sirianni went to the Eagles, and they had the same record. So, like, do we really know what Sean Payton is and what Sean Payton's going to be?
Let me put it this way. If the fact that he coached Drew Brees is the tipping point for you, well, then you're just not going to be in on Sean Payton. Because everything else that he's done, as I mentioned, with culture, with the winning, and a lot of great coaches have great quarterbacks. That's how they become great. Like if you're crediting Drew Brees alone for Sean Payton's success, he's clearly a factor. It's the proverbial I can't help you. If you're saying, well, Drew Brees, I think Drew Brees could say, Sean Payton, boy, did he help my career? Boy, did I won a Super Bowl with Sean Payton. And in that Super Bowl, didn't he have a hell of a coaching move in the start of the second half with the onside kick? Wasn't that the Super Bowl wasn't that Sean Payton that did that?
Yeah, where Hank Baskett let it go through his arms. Yes, I'm not taking away from what he did with Drew Brees. I'm just saying I find it interesting that that's not like we don't know like what Sean Payton is without Drew Brees. Well, we do know he's a 9-8 coach that doesn't make the playoffs, and he's exhausted or quit, however you want to look at it, and he left for a year, and now he's going to come into this situation with the Houston Texans, and he's going to be a more ideal guy than some of these other guys. I just think, like, we keep saying, well, he's the best coach. Sean Payton by far. You can't argue the resume. The body of work is the body of work. He's going to be making a Hall of Fame speech one day, but like I just don't see how there's not like at least a little bit of uncertainty as to what he looks like without Drew Brees.
I totally understand it. I don't think anyone would say that he is going to all of a sudden be David Culley.
I don't think he's going to be David Culley.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be that.
I think the amount.
And there is a reason that everyone wants to talk to him.
There's a reason the Dallas Cowboys are willing to part ways with Mike McCarthy if he loses.
And Los Angeles is going to get rid of Brandon Staley.
Yes. And it's not like we're not on an island here just shooting darts at a guy that benefited from Drew Brees' existence. No, he's much more than that. I think that's unfair to him. Yes, Drew Brees was huge. But you know what? Sean Payton was huge for Drew Brees, and I think that's acknowledged.
No doubt. And Bill Belichick was great with Tom Brady, but it's not. But to convince ourselves that you're getting this, because you mentioned the 10 or 11 wins, but to convince ourselves like that's the direction you're heading. Sometimes coaches without that great quarterback, they're not what we thought they were. And at this point in his career, as I said, the tale I heard about Sean Payton from someone who worked with him in Green Bay was, he's the little zealot, he's the little anxious, nerdy guy getting coffee and giving scouting reports to coaches and stuff like that. Is he still that guy? Like, is he still that guy? Because that's what it's going to take. Mm-hmm. That's why when Nick Caserio goes up there and sounds defeated and he sounds like whatever happens, I just wonder, is this guy about this life? Because when you come here, you got to be about that life. You can't be the grumpy 59-year-old who gets money whipped, probably going to be one of the highest paid coaches in football, that is impatient, not enjoying any of the bad stuff that comes with losing, and not about that life. You got to be 100% about that life if you're going to come here. And at this point, pushing 60, walking away from the game for a year after Drew Brees retires, I just don't know that we can assure ourselves that we're getting that Sean Payton.
I don't know why this is happening. I just don't know. We're sitting here. Would you, not just you.
Yeah, no.
The generic you. I'm gonna as I ask this question.
Yeah,
would you take Jim Harbaugh?
Would I take Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah.
I like what Jim Harbaugh did in the NFL. I like what Jim Harbaugh's done at Michigan. I don't know if I would take Jim Harbaugh or not. Like I
used this word this morning.
I like Jim Harbaugh. I'm fine with Jim Harbaugh.
I'm flummoxed. I'm floored. We're living in a city where all we've ever wanted was relevance and a winner. That's all we've ever wanted. I mean, we've got 2 seasons of more than 10 wins in the entire existence of the organization. 2. That's it.
It's happened.
We're frustrated. We talk about, Cal, sell the team. Cal is about to try to get you Sean Payton, and we're saying, I don't know. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Yes, you can shoot holes in every single candidate out there. You can shoot holes in every one. So give me the one that's been there. Give me the one that's won the Super Bowl. Give me the one that's averaged 10.5 wins for his last 12 years coaching. Give me the one who's the same age as Jim Harbaugh. Give me the one that has taken a year off, is energized, has talked about it, has got the pelts on the wall. We can shoot holes in any candidate. You can shoot fewer in Sean Payton. Are we just that beaten down? Are we just as a fan base that, willing and used to waving and insecure and used to waving the white flag? What are we doing here, people?
I think we're living in the present. I mean, I think we're living in the present. I don't think it's like beating down. I don't think it's selling short. I think we're living in the present. Like you look at last year's Super Bowl, you had Zach Taylor, you had Sean McVay. Sean McVay, those were both like those guys were a lot more similar to the other guys on the Texans list than just bringing in Sean Payton and kicking the tires on a guy who had walked away for a while that you really don't know what he's going to be without Drew Brees. Like we talk about like all these younger coaches, like the number 1 seed in the NFL right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. That's Nick Sirianni. That's a young guy, kind of looks like the other list that we had that we were really impressive with before Sean Payton. Sean McDermott, they brought him in Buffalo. He wasn't like some sort of established guy. They found out what he was. He was an assistant on a very good team, and they brought him in and they figured it out. And then you have the Andy Reid example, which might kind of go with the Sean Payton example a little bit to a certain point. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what's going on with these coaches. Like, it's not like the list was already awesome. Like, we were talking about how awesome this list of candidates were that the Texans had before Sean Payton. It's not like we're comparing Sean Payton to David Culley, Lovie Smith, Josh McCown. Mm-hmm. Like, the list to me that you're looking at is similar to what I see when I watch the NFL now. Not Sean Payton. And unless you tell me that he's going to find his Drew Brees. And this, like, he's going to pick his quarterback. I don't think he would have picked Drew Brees. I mean, I know he ended up bringing him over, but, like, Sean Payton has already eliminated Bryce Young from possibilities. Now, it's one thing to say it as an analyst. Who knows when he's actually crunching the tape and his livelihood's on it. But, like, is it supposed to be, like, I would, let me put it this way. Are we comfortable calling Sean, like, do we know that Sean Payton can pick a quarterback? Like, that Sean Payton is, like, 100%, like, what makes him better than Steichen or some of the other guys on the list? What makes him better than Mike Kafka? What makes him better than these guys at picking a quarterback? Because he's only had one. Yeah, that's my point. Is he's only had one.
Well, and I want to make very clear, I am not down on any of these other guys. I think there's a good chance.
I mean, these other guys are going to be head coaches, and they're gonna be very popular guys.
But there's a good chance that no more than 20 or 30% of these 8 guys are going to be good.
For sure. And there's also a chance that Sean Payton crumbles as well. Like,
but I think the odds favor Sean Payton, with his experience.
In this situation?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, if you told me he was going to the Chargers or the Cowboys where they're a coach away, then maybe so. And they already have the situation there. But the New Orleans Saints, like their salary cap situation, their roster and stuff, it's kind of hellacious.
Yeah.
It has kind of a feel like Sean Payton kind of has a feel of leaving New Orleans and this is just how I look at it. Kind of feels like, well, I don't have my Hall of Fame quarterback anymore. The salary cap situation sucks. We have limited assets, which, by the way, he had a hand in creating. It's not like he was just sitting back and letting someone else shop for the groceries. Like Mickey Loomis basically answered to Sean Payton, just like I think Nick Caserio would have to answer to Sean Payton. Like it seemed like he kind of jumped ship on something that was a mess that he kind of had a hand in creating.
Yes, but who cares? Do it here. Just get this team bankrupt too. As long as you get us a Super Bowl, get us to a Super Bowl. They have so much more salary cap space here, and you talk about. You don't know if he's able to pick a quarterback. I don't think anybody does.
No.
But again,
I mean and it's not as easy as just pick a guy. Sometimes he's not there.
I mean, would you trust him more than Nick Caserio? No, I wouldn't. Picking a quarterback? No way.
No, I mean,
no way.
I would like that to be a collaborative effort.
Yeah, but I think he's going to have more of a say if he's here.
I'm more intrigued by finding the next Zach Taylor, Sean McVay young coach, like a DeMeco Ryans who's going to come in here and be along for the run. Not Sean Payton, who has. I think he has question marks as a coach as much as any of these guys.
No way.
That sounds crazy.
No way.
I'm not saying like his question marks are more significant. He's obviously done it more. Just by default, the fact that he's been in the game longer, he obviously has more experience. But I question what he is without Drew Brees. I think it's fair. Belichick.
I've never said that's not Brady. Fair. I've never said that's not fair. All I'm saying is I would trust him a lot more than what is Mike Kafka going to be? What is Avero going to be? What is Shane Steichen going to be? We don't know. We know a lot less.
I've seen Mike Kafka with Daniel Jones. I've seen that. He's a younger guy. I don't know. And I also think I don't necessarily think that Nick Caserio working in a collaborative effort is the worst thing. So if there's like some collaboration, I don't have an issue with it. With Sean Payton, there's not going to be collaboration.
Good.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Sean Payton overseeing Nick Caserio. Maybe that's a good mix. Maybe they're cut from the same cloth. Maybe it works.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think like Sean Payton is just a swing for the fences, bat flip, home run when it comes to excitement. Now, if you want to talk about excitement, and I've talked about buzz, like if you want to talk about excitement, making people excited, bringing attention, bringing credibility, bringing fans and stuff like that, I think it could happen with DeMeco Ryans. I think it could happen with a lot of these guys eventually. But it immediately does do it with Sean Payton. I'm just saying from like a maximized success, like reaching the ultimate goal, I'm not 100% convinced that Sean Payton is like some sort of home run. If you told me Sean McVay wanted to come here after leaving for a year, dude, you can have whatever. You can have whatever. Sean McVay went to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. He went to a Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. Sean McVay, like everything, every assistant that even like shakes his hand ends up being a good coach in the NFL. It's like Shanahan. If you told me I could bring in Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay, let's get it. Sean Payton, I'm a little bit more skeptical.
This is where I am I love this conversation. I love the back and forth. But this is where I am just stunned. If Sean Payton isn't a home run hire, then it doesn't exist. If Sean Payton is not a home run hire, does not exist. He is absolutely that.
Well, when I think home run hire, I think this is 100% going to work. Now, as far as like the excitement and as far as the big name and as far as all that, that's a home run. That's a home run. But if you're asking me like guaranteeing success, building an organization that I think has staying power, a coaching staff where people are going to be coming and getting your coaches and stuff like that, a coach who's going to be able to relate to like the younger players today, I don't think it's like a 100% home run.
I actually would have less confidence in Sean McVay's buy-in than Sean Payton. Talk about somebody quitting.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing Sean McVay did.
But Sean McVay's a lot younger.
Sean Payton did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing
and he's
Sean
a lot
Payton
young, like if you brought either of those two guys in and said which one of these guys is more likely to quit on you, I'd say Sean McVay.
Possibly.
So that's what I'm saying. If this guy's not a home run hire, then there is no such thing.
Well, when we talk about guaranteeing success with all the stuff they got to do, I don't think there is such a thing.
Yeah.
But the Sean Payton thing, it's cool that they're even in the mix. I'm not going to sit here and say don't talk to his ass. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
So and I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to like pound the table and say what the hell are they doing if they hire Sean Payton.
You're not going to be upset if they hire him.
I'm not going to do that. But it's not like I'm sitting here and I'm deciding between eating Spam or filet mignon. There's a lot of good options on this list of guys that they're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Just the fact we're having this discussion is I think it's just as much a representation of how good and intriguing the list of guys are as it is what to say about Sean Payton. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And I think it shows you where we came from, too.
Exactly.
Because we couldn't have this conversation in 2021
Hell no.
or 2022.
Exactly.
Hell no.
Exactly. It's a back and forth thing. Who knows? I'll say this. I am damn glad that we're at least having this freaking conversation. I am damn glad that we're having this conversation. And as much as I enjoyed it, as fun as it was, this beats the hell out of being on the McCown train. I can promise you that. It beats the hell out of being on a McCown train.
We need to run through that list from last year to see who he was talking about.
Oh, my gosh.
It beats the hell
compared to this year.
Beats the hell out of being on that McCown train, and it beats the hell out of being on that Lovie Smith. Oh, well, at least he's not McCown train. I can promise you that.